You gonna freeze this time? No? Okay, good. It froze the last few times I tried to record. Actually, I'm gonna stop the recording until the song gets to the good part. Alright, there we go, that's all I wanted to stay here for. So I could look at all these rooms, but they have nothing in them. Oh, I wonder. No, okay.
ここ、さっき私が縛られてた場所だよね。あんなところ、もう二度と入りたくないな。
Alright, so we can't go in there. And we're not dead either, even though Yoshikazu's supposed to be after us, okay. See, I don't know why they gave Yuka such an awesome sounding theme, but, like, the reason I wanted to pause it there instead of just running around is because, like, if I ran around I would be looking at nothing, because none of these halls or classrooms have anything in them. And the song doesn't play for that long either, because, like, right when you go downstairs, well, not right when you go down, when you go downstairs, like, there's a cutscene, and then the song is gone. That's all you get to hear of it. Suddenly, my field of vision started going topsy-turvy. Was I falling? It was an earthquake, but there was more than just that. The floor beneath me was moving up and down in time with the quake's left and right motion. I tried putting one hand on the floor for balance and getting back to my feet. I thought I'd done it. I was standing now and I had started getting used to the vibrations. As long as I hugged the walls, I could walk. But that all quite literally came crashing down around me soon enough. The wild shaking floor cracked, then crumbled, and I was free falling. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O, bad place to be. I raised my head and found myself lying on top of a pile of rubble. I wasn't too much worse for the wear, though, all things considered. The worst place you can possibly be. I looked all around me frantically, but saw nothing even remotely familiar. This was definitely someplace new. And it didn't feel much like a school anymore. The walls and floors are made from packed dirt, with only railroad ties keeping it all together. I knew I was underground. I had to be. It just felt that way. There were no windows anywhere, and based on the smell, there was no ventilation either. Oni-chan might have gotten caught off guard by that earthquake too, I thought. He could be down here. Why did I say that twice? Like, you know, whatever. It was a big one after all. Maybe he was injured. Maybe he couldn't move. I tried pushing myself up from the pile of rubble, ready to shoot to my feet and continue the search. That didn't last long, however. My hands and feet were still a little numb from the ropes, making it hard to keep my balance. I fell back onto my butt. My underwear was completely waterlogged, like a full sponge. Thanks, Yuka. This is stuff we need to know. It squished unpleasantly on the debris, sending a cold chill through my entire body. Thank you. I reached down and felt it, and it was absolutely soaked through. It would take forever for it to dry. I was so wrapped up in running for my life and chasing after Oni-chan, I didn't even notice the wetness, but now I can't get it out of my mind. Tears were welling up in my eyes. How could I be so pathetic? I forced myself to my feet, doing my best to try ignoring the squishy sensation. I wouldn't be able to ignore it for long, though. My panties were noticeably heavier now, and the urine they absorbed was practically ice-cold. Thank you, Yuka. I couldn't go on like this. I was going to get a rash or catch pneumonia or something, and every step was going to be its own form of mushy, gushy hell. But what could I do? I could take them off, but then what? Carry them with me? Ew. Leave them on the floor for someone else to find? No thanks. What's he gonna do?
お兄ちゃん
I swallowed my pride, held back my tears as best I could, and waddled onward.
どこか脱げる場所ないかな
And there's our objective. The first game was the quest to find the bathroom. Now it's the quest to hide your underwear. And you see the music changed. From the really awesome song to underground theme. What is this song? I don't remember what this song is called.
扉が開かないや。鍵がかかってるのかな。おにゃい。他の場所を探してみよう。
Alright, not in there. Better not be singing kids again, because those were really loud in chapter 4. Good. Emulator does not like this chapter. I just going to assume that a kid, I think. It's a set of skeletal remains. Given its tiny stature, it very likely belonged to an elementary school student in life. There's a student ID name tag. Yes! Halfway lodged inside the poor girl's ribcage. Great Harbor Elementary School. Chihiro Tamamura. Great Harbor Elementary. No, why did I... Oh, I remember the last time I opened the item menu, it started beeping like crazy. Thank God I didn't do it that time. Okay, so it was something Harbor. Great Harbor. Chihiro. Agonizing death from blood loss after eyes gouged out. Age 11. Oh, that's nice. Oh, well, I guess technically younger people did get it. Because, like, Yuki and all the murder victims were younger than 11. Alright, the door is sealed firmly shut. There's no way to open it. So there are bodies in this chapter that haven't been discovered. And nothing. No, of course. In like every... Whoops. In like every part of the underground, you can never like look side to side as much. Like there's usually an arrow. And you can look around more.
ここトイレかな。お札も貼ってないし。変な匂いもしないよね。
The only bathrooms I'd seen up to this point were unusable. Charms on the door mysteriously sealing the room shut, bodies hanging in the stalls. But this looked to be a completely normal bathroom, certainly the most normal I'd seen since getting stuck in this place anyway. There's a loose piece of wood on the ground here. Take it.
何かの役に立つかも。
Acquired piece of wood.
中に入れるのかな。
I tried pulling on one of the wooden stall doors.
誰かいますか?
Are you hoping for an answer? Because if someone answered me after I said that, then I would be pretty damn scared. I listened carefully for any hint of a response, even going so far as to hold my breath.
返事をされても怖いよね。
Yeah, see? But there wasn't a single sound to be heard. The entire room was dead silent. The walls were made from packed dirt after all, and there was a lot of moisture in the air. Effectively, this whole place was naturally soundproof.
よし、誰もいないみたい。あ。
I backed away from the stall slightly and almost tripped over a fairly sizable crack in the ground, about 5 centimeters wide and 1 centimeter thick.
ここに隠してもいいかな。よいしょ。
Finally, I was able to get out of those waterlogged panties. Despite being alone, I still crouched down and removed them as discreetly as I could. Then I stuffed them tightly into the crack I discovered.
よいしょ、よいしょ。全部入らないや。 布がはみ出ちゃう。もっと大きく広げられればいいんだけど、どうしよう。そうだ、この木で隙間を大きくすれば。
Used piece of wood. That's the most effective thing. It looks pretty sharp and useful for a weapon, but I guess you can use it for this.
ゆかのこんな姿、お兄ちゃんに見られなくてよかった。どうか誰にも見つかりませんように。特にお兄ちゃんには。
Not that Oni-chan would be likely to wander into a girl's bathroom, but it was possible given the circumstances. So just to be safe, I figured it couldn't hurt to pray that it didn't happen.
でも、もうちょっと奥に詰めておこうかな。
And they are really dragging this whole underwear thing on.
誰かに見つかったら恥ずかしいもんね。
They wouldn't know it's yours.
よし。
My underwear is now totally buried and out of sight. There was no way anyone could come across it if they didn't know it was there. Satisfied, I stood up.
スースーしてやだな。
That Y isn't supposed to be in there.
でも、濡れたまま履いてたら、もっと気持ち悪いし。さっきから地震ばかり。ここ、大丈夫かな。
Oh god, I thought it
さ
froze
っきよ
again.
りも古い建物だけど、壊れちゃわないかな。
I'm gonna have to save a lot if it's gonna keep freezing like this. I peeked my head out from the bathroom and looked around.
誰もいないよね。お兄ちゃん、お兄ちゃん。
My voice echoed a lot louder than I was expecting. It actually surprised me considering the wet dirt walls. I didn't think sound would travel that far.
怖いよ。他にお兄ちゃんの友達とか誰かいれば。臭い。手洗いたいな。
I began walking through the hall once again, this time a bit slower and more unevenly due to exhaustion. And I'm gonna save. Alrighty. Let's continue our trek. Oh, we should go to the death room. No bodies. I highly doubt there's gonna be anything here. No. Can I actually go in? Yes.
暗いな。
There's a body. Hello, sir. There are thoroughly decomposed remains on the table here. Based on general appearance and what's left of the deceased clothing, they appear to belong to a very young girl. Her name tag is still affixed to her chest. Great Harbor Elementary, Mako Sakurai. Great Harbor. Again. Her kind voice healed her friends' hearts, always her class favorite. That's not... okay. Not really her death, but okay. Can't look at any of those. Oh! Yay! It's a set of skeletal remains. There doesn't seem to be any way to determine gender from clothing or build alone, but there is a student ID name tag nearby bearing a traditionally feminine name. Komashiro Trade School, Sakura Motoi. Komashiro Trade. Both arms severed and booby-trapped, bled out. I don't even see any legs. Are those the legs right there? I don't see a head either. Or is it under that cloth? Whatever. There's a cabinet here that looks big enough to fit a whole person inside. It might make a good hiding spot.
誰か来たらあそこに隠れればいいかな。でも本当に誰か入ってきたら怖いな。
The door to the room suddenly slammed shut, and the inside of it was missing its doorknob, rendering it unopenable. It seemed I'd been locked in.
どうしよう。
That's a good question. I forgot.
何か取っ手の代わりになるようなものがあれば。
Save time. Okay, it's a fairly large stone sitting on the heavy wooden table. Take it. Take the stone. Acquired stone.
これで思いっきりドアを叩けば開くかな。
Yeah, little Yuka hitting the door. It might break open. Yeah, sure.
よし。
Well, I mean, I guess she is pretty hardcore.
ダメだ。びくともしない。
Yeah. Oh, he's still chasing us.
大きな音を出したから気づかれちゃったかも。早く出る方法を見つけなきゃ。
Wouldn't that put you right in front of him? I quietly and gently returned the stone to its original. What? But what was the beep for? Thank you. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's what happens here. 30% darkening. I don't want any of that. There's a nail puller shoved into this. Oh, okay, yeah, this is it.
これをドアに引っ掛ければ取っ手の代わりにできるかな。よかった。これで外へ出られる。
But Yoshikazu's right outside, isn't he? Nope. I guess not. Okay, whatever. Maybe he's beeping. Maybe he's letting us go. Sometimes it beeps, sometimes it... Hey, I'm not even gonna look at this one right here, because that's gonna be... It's gonna look the exact same, just a wall. A body! It's a decaying corpse. Based on outward appearance and uniform, this was likely a junior high school girl. Her student ID name tag seems to have survived intact. Text. Takane Municipal Middle School. Koi Kawahara. Takane. Wait, what was it? Oh. Came to investigate and was separated from friends, left behind many works for the next generation. Was this the person? I think it was. Whatever. That's not a death either. Okay. Oops. And nothing. And nothing again. Whoops. Just gonna keep looking for more bodies, because I like looking at the bodies, even though it increases my darkening by a whole 2%. At least it's not 30%. Oh, that's a nice looking one. It's a newly deceased corpse, practically still warm. It's easy to tell at a glance that this was a female junior high school student. I thought that was a guy. There's a student ID name tag on the ground at her feet. Shobu University Middle School. Michi Moretoshi. Shobu University. It was this one, right? Yes, I think so. Imagine created many popular games with a blazing blue flame of passion burning in his... No, that's not it. What was it? What was it? No, it was this one, but it says his heart. Well, okay. Interesting, I had to go check the recording to see what the name was, and that was the right name, but it said it was a girl, and then the name tag said it was a guy, and whatever. No. Can I go in the body pool? Yeah! The door to this particular room was shuddering ever so slightly, as if there were a breeze blowing against it gently from inside.
なんか開きそう。
Slowly and hesitantly, I put both hands on the doorknob and started to turn.
入れるみたい。よし、入ってみよう。出口につながってるといいな。 ひどい匂い。
As soon as the door opened even a crack, a powerful, horrible stench slammed into my face and twisted around my nasal cavities like a jet of water.
これ何かが腐った匂いだ。
I was instantly feeling nauseous and lightheaded as if I were suddenly deprived of oxygen.
もうダメ。早く出よう。水の音。水があるのかな？
Is there water in this place that smells like corpses? Holding my nose, I stepped back into the room and crept over towards the source of the noise. If there were water here, maybe I could wash my hands, I thought.
お水どこ？
My extreme thirst came back full force as well. My clean water was the greatest thing I could possibly find right now. I accidentally kicked over a bucket, spilling its contents onto the ground in front of me. The fly noises, they actually sound like they're beside me. Countless flies immediately flew out from the overturned bucket and began swarming all around me. Their buzzing wings sounded right up against my ears as if they were attacking me. I let go of my nose and began flailing my arms wildly, attempting in vain to drive them away.
前が見えないよ。
As I haphazardly stumbled forward, I found my foot splashing in shallow liquid. Mere moments later, my hand came in contact with a wall and brushed against the switch. I heard a faint clicking sound, and then... Oh, there's some water. The lights blinked on, and I got a clear look at the room I was standing in.
何ここ。死体。
A large portion of the floor had been dug out into something resembling a pool, which was filled with stagnant, discolored water and dismembered bodies. The bodies were decomposing a lot faster than they naturally wouldn't on account of the wetness. Most of them had swarms of maggots instead of faces. Several bodies had actually washed up on the ground outside the pool as well. Those few that still had limbs looked like they may lose them at any moment. Their torsos were all swollen and black, and everything else was bone white. なんで死体がこんなに集まって。 The closest body was spurting a sappy mucus from its nose and mouth and staring at me with an ugly, mean expression. The thick fluid coming out of it was reddish-brown in color. It seemed to be a disgusting mixture of blood and dead bugs. I cannot talk.
何の音？
Some sort of huge door high along the roof of the wall opened up, and I could clearly feel a breeze blowing through the room. It was a trash chute?
ここを登っていけば元の場所に戻れるかな。今度は何の音？何か聞こえる。
I was afraid of what might be coming through that hole, so I put some distance between it and myself. Something heavy fell from above and splashed into the pool, spraying my face with rotten, stagnant water. The body that had just fallen into the pool of water was wearing a school uniform. As soon as it touched the liquid, it began bubbling and melting into it as if it were a bag of ingredients tossed into a stew pot. One of the poor victim's lungs floated to the surface, giving the whole scene even more of a sick, soup-like appearance. How did that happen? What condition was this person in before they fell into the chute? You know what would have been nice? A CG. I would have loved to have a CG right there, but nope. But I want to look at the bodies. I dragged my wet foot on a dry part of the ground for a second or two, then made a dash for the door. As soon as I was back out in the hall, I fell to my knees in shock. I couldn't even move. The smell of death and decay was still sticking to me and still trying to shake its way into my nose It was all I could do not to throw up on the spot. I hadn't eaten anything for hours, so I'm not even sure what I would have actually thrown up, but I still felt like I had to more strongly than ever before. Maybe it would have been best just to let it come out. I'm sure I would have felt better afterward. But I honestly didn't want to see my own vomit right now, and not after all those other disgusting things I'd seen. I'd had enough.
どうしてこんなことになっちゃったの？
At times like this especially, I really longed for my Oni-chan. If only he were here with me. I cried out for him as if in prayer.
お兄ちゃん、助けて。助けて。動けないの。誰かいるの？誰かいるの？あっ。
And that's all for this time.